Except it doesn't work.
We at least got a window for sunshine.
When they leave, they're probably not coming back. Or do I blame them? They got a lot of snow to shovel.
Burr.
Well, I think then we're late. Let's start.
Be on. Just have to make sure there's not clean head shop across.
That's exactly what
That's
Mr.
exactly
Popshaw
right.
said.
Testing.
Glare coming in.
Yeah, from the glare, that's right.
More concerned about the grassy knoll.
Yeah, there we go. I guess we're
Yes,
late.
we had a security meeting, and that was one of the things that was, that they were sitting ducks up here. People knew where they
We're late, but I
sat.
guess that time's past to start, hasn't it?
And
Yeah. All right, folks, would you stand with me to do the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning. I will call to order this meeting of the Lawrence County Commissioners, January 27th. And first off on the agenda, we will have approval of minutes. I have a motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? No. All righty. Let's have a called vote for the approval.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Approval of claims.
Move to approve.
I second.
Okay, got a first and a second. Call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion's approved. Approval of payroll.
I move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second. Call for a motion to approve, or vote to approve, excuse me.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Then we have appointments. Brad Boo.
Mr. President, Commissioners, it's that time of year again for everyone to get their license plates. I'll hold this up so the camera, I hope, can catch it. The sale of these veterans' license plates, 100% goes to the Veterans Relief Fund in Indianapolis. So if you purchase a veteran's license plate, the money does go to help your fellow veterans. If you want a low-digit license plate, such as I have on my vehicle, you need to come see me, and we'll see if it's available through the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. But with it being that time of year, anybody needs to get their plates, all you need to do is take your DD-214 to the license branch to prove that you're an honorably discharged veteran from whatever branch you are seeking to obtain a license plate representing that branch. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, we have a representative from the probation here. I don't see Chad.
I did not get any information that they weren't coming, but he may be stuck.
Okay, well, we'll just have to table that till the next time. We have an agreement that Dave is going to present with the Agape House and Jenny's place.
Mr. President, I was contacted by Nedra Fleetwood, who is the Chief Probation Officer for the county. It's my understanding that the Juvenile Department utilizes both Agape House and Jenny's Place for temporary placements when juveniles are required to be taken into temporary custody by officials from the county in order to provide for safe, secure, and appropriate placements on matters that come before the juvenile court. I understand that the Department of Child Services also utilizes these two providers to provide for temporary assistance. I asked Ms. Fleetwood what temporary was, and it's my understanding it's a day or two at most. It's also my understanding that both Agape House and Jenny's Place have grant funding. The proposed very temporary services to be provided are covered by grants that they have, and we will not have any expense related to these temporary placements. The program that the probation department proposes to participate in is called Alternatives to Detention. Traditionally, if a child is needed to be taken into custody because of a juvenile matter that will be addressed by the probation department, there is oftentimes a need to put them in what adults would consider to be jail. They're trying to use more user-friendly alternatives and trying to find family placements. Sometimes it's necessary to have a de-escalation period, and Agape House and Jenny's Place apparently serve that purpose. The proposed contract you have before you leaves the provider blank because one would be for Agape House and one would be for Jenny's Place. It would be my request on behalf of the probation department that the board approve the form of the contract to be used for both Agape House and Jenny's Place, and authorize a representative of the probation department to execute these as may be needed. Because the demand for these services can be sporadic at times, I'm assuming that we'll only use this perhaps on a temporary ongoing basis. I put into the contract that either party may terminate this agreement with 30 days advance notice. So it's what I would consider to be a revolving agreement where if either party desired to get out of it, there is not a long-term commitment that would bind us to this. One of the concerns that I expressed when the matter was first brought to me was to make sure if the county is working with outside third parties involving juveniles, that we not be responsible for supervision or training of the personnel or volunteers who work for those two social service agencies, and that they be required to maintain general liability insurance for any event that may take place on their premises that we may or may not have control over. Because these placements would be usually only hours long and temporary, I still believed it would be appropriate to have something in writing for purposes of risk management moving forward so that it would be clear if there was some sort of accident or injury, who the first primary responsible party would be. So on behalf of the probation department, I'd ask that you first approve the form of the agreement and then two, authorize personnel in probation to enter into these agreements and provide us with fully executed copies upon their entry of the agreement with the providers.
Do we need to do that in two motions, or can that be?
I think you can put it in one motion.
Okay. All right, I'd call for a motion.
I would move that the agreement to provide alternatives to detention services through the probation department be approved, and that the authorized individuals be named by the probation department.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All righty. Well, call for the vote. Anybody say aye if they approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And motion's passed.
Thank you.
Next thing we have is a maintenance agreement with HFI. Everybody has got that in front of them. So I'd entertain a motion to approve this.
I move to approve the maintenance agreement with HFI.
Second.
All right, got a first and a second. We'll call for the vote. Signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Mr. Brian Souders.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First up for business, as we know, a foreman had turned in his 2-week notice, and I requesting permission to reappoint a foreman for District 3. I assume that's what we need to do here since it's an appointed position by you guys. Myself and Wally have talked about his district foreman, and we'd like to appoint Trevor Turpin as the District 3 foreman. I don't know if you guys
What
need
was the
to...
last name?
Turpin.
Turpin, okay.
I don't know if you guys need to vote on that. A little lost on procedures here.
Trevor's a good man.
he's done a lot of substituting for Richie over the past when Richie was having to be out, so. Since it is an appointment, I think we do need to
Make a motion.
make a motion. So I'd move to approve Trevor Turpin for District 3. Well, I'm gonna second it.
All right. Have a first and a second. We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
But he is still plowing his route until we get a driver hired. Wally, don't worry. Main thing, we were getting swamp of phone calls at the highway about when we're getting the roads and all that stuff. I just want to remind the public, it takes one driver on a normal snow about 13 hours to get his route. You know, some of them are passable, some of them we're still cleaning up. Hopefully the sunshine and it gets over 20 degrees today and tomorrow, the material will actually start working. So we are working on widening the roads and getting past them. I know people are frustrated because the snow will get in front of their driveway and mailboxes, but snow's got to go somewhere. I don't know what to tell them, but other than that, the advertisement for paved roads next summer went out, so I'll be sending those packets to to all the people, the companies that are interested, and I'll put out. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired today. I'm a little off my beaten path. We'll be doing West Coxton, and Briarwood Edition in District 1. Greer Lane, Stump Hole Bridge Road, half of it, and Clark Smith Road, Cassie Lane in District 2. On District 3, we'll be doing Pinhook Road, about 1.7 miles of it, West Power Line Road in its entirety, and about 1.3 miles on Brown Station Road. So that's the roads we'll be putting out to bid for next summer. Other than that, the guys are getting after it and keeping busy. That's about all I have, other than snow removal. It's my life right now, so.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all your hard work.
I want to thank you, because you guys had a big weekend, and you've done a good job. Regardless of what the public thinks or says, you've done a good job.
Appreciate it.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And I also want to say that we're all thankful that the one major accident that we had that involved a plow and a driver, that there were no serious personal injuries, and we're thankful for that.
Nope, he's already back to work. That's how hard-headed he is, so.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brian. Val?
Good morning. Definitely, it's been a busy last few days. Thursday night, we had our excitement of thinking we weren't going to have to evacuate Mitchell Manor because of a fire. It filled up with smoke, and it ended up being a motor seized up in one of the furnaces, and so they were able to get on it right away, and we had the people moved, and we was ready. I was calling in reinforcements, but sheriff was sending people. Thank you. Appreciate it, Greg. But they ended up, told them they didn't have to evacuate out of the building. That was what I was first told. We were moving everybody out to the church next door. So thank goodness we didn't have to take those folks out. There's 70-some residents there, and it's a lot of people to move. So that worked out real well. And then just been busy with updating information, and you know, the big thing we have is these private roads, you know. We probably have 25 or 30 of these private roads where they went in and did housing additions, selling off with meets and bounds, and they're gravel roads and stuff, and they want us to come and plow them, and we just can't, you know. We're just not allowed to do that with our money. I'm sympathetic to them, but that's the chance you take when you build on private road and stuff. So, and you know, on the one hand, it's rare that we have these deep of snows, you know, that it's a major problem. But I know Brian was inundated yesterday. The sheriff's department was called, and so I returned calls as best I could and explained to them what we could and couldn't do. So, and like I said, I'm sympathetic to their plight, but our hands are tied as county. So.
Well, I'll just say that this has been a trying weekend for all of us, but for some of us older folks that were around in 1978, this has been a walk in the park.
Yes, I remember.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
But I don't want to make light
No.
of the problems that it's presented us with, but I think we've done an outstanding job in getting ourselves to the point we're at today.
And there are a lot of people out there that are coming out. My neighbor clears my driveway for nothing. You know, a lot of people are helping each other to clear out. And there are a lot of resources out there for people to call if they do need assistance with their roads or their drives plowed. So, thank you.
Thank you, Val. Appreciate your efforts. Sheriff Greg Day.
Morning. All right. Start off, I'll give you the jail population. We had 82 total inmates this morning, 69 males, 13 females, holding 9 for DOC. We have 1 parole hold with no local charges, and we have 2 that are sentenced here locally to serve their time for level 6 felonies. We've actually taken several people to DOC over the last month too. They're just getting sentenced pretty quickly there. So then I wanted to give some shout outs from this past weekend and into yesterday. First of all, to the deputies who were out there working. You know, calls don't stop just because it's snowing, unfortunately, and we had several domestics and suicidal subjects and things like that we still had to get to, on top of the crashes and slide offs and things. And we had a couple officers get stuck. We had one that slid off and did a little damage to a car. But overall, they did a fantastic job responding to everything they needed to. My dispatch, you can only imagine the number of calls that come into dispatch, and for them to try to get in and out. I actually had 2 dispatchers that worked both Saturday and Sunday, and they actually they worked a 12-hour shift, and then they went and they slept in the training room and got up and worked another 12-hour shifts after getting some sleep. So they didn't even leave basically all weekend long, dedicated to making sure we had people there and answering the calls. And that's something that I don't think the public necessarily thinks about that much. So I greatly appreciate that. Certainly a huge shout out to Brian and his crew. I know it said earlier, people like to complain, but they have done a fantastic job. And you know, both Saturday night and Sunday, they responded. Not only are they trying to plow the roads, but you know, they would have to divert, and they went, and I don't know, 3 or 4 different ambulances that were stuck, fire trucks, my 2 police. I mean, they would go and they helped get those emergency responders to where they needed to go. So really went above and beyond. And then lastly, a shout out to really the citizens, because overall they actually, I think our public did a very good job of heeding the warnings and listening, and weren't necessarily or unnecessarily out and about doing things. I actually think that we only had 5 crashes that actually required crash reports, and then we had a handful of slide offs, and then just vehicles stuck in the middle of the roads that couldn't get anywhere that we responded to. But overall, nothing major whatsoever. So anyway, lots of good work all the way around, I thought. So I wanted to take a moment for that. And then just the last thing, I just want to throw this out there. I know you guys can't decide or anything right now, but just wondering what the plan is as far as the county highway workers, and then the dispatch and jail officers and road officers who didn't get to take the day off yesterday when the county employees were, if there's any thought of compensating them with a extra day off, or paid kind of like a holiday or something. So I'm just throwing that out there for you guys to talk about, because unlike all the other departments, our department and the highway department don't get to shut down. So just throwing that out there to see what we can do there. So other than that, that's all I've got, unless you all have anything for me.
I just thank you all very much for your hard work. You've done a good job, and all the county services have went above and beyond. And we're very, very pleased and happy for you all to do that. Thank you again very much.
All right, thanks. They do well. Thanks.
All right. Any unfinished old business? All right. I'd call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
We are adjourned.